Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Pack a Day podcast. I'm your host, Andy Herman. You can follow me on Twitter at Andy Herman NFL. Welcome into this Labor Day edition of the show. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully, this episode finds you in good health. Hopefully, you are well. Hopefully, you are enjoying your day off. If not, hopefully, you're getting paid, double time and a half, whatever it is that you're getting paid, hopefully, while listening to this episode. That'd even be a bonus from there. But whatever it may be, I appreciate you listening in. I appreciate you joining me today. And I figured we would have some fun. We are so ridiculously close to NFL football. Of course, Bucks Cowboys on Thursday, Packers Saints on Sunday. Absolutely cannot wait. It was great getting to see a full slate of college football action this weekend, but I am 1,000,000% ready for the NFL. I am even more ready for the Green Bay Packers, and I figured we would have some fun today. And I want to go through the 10 things that I am most looking forward to as this season gets ready to kick off. And I think there's quite a few. I think there's a lot going on. I think there's a lot of things to be excited about, especially with this Packers team, especially with this Packers season. But let's just go through it. Let's run 1 through 10, not in any specific order, but just the 10 things that I cannot wait for this upcoming season. And number one on my list. Like, I am ranking this one number one. There's nothing that's going to top it. Number one on my list is Packers Lions week 2, full fans at Lambeau Field. Yes, we got a little bit of family night and preseason action with some fans in the stands. Yes, we had a smattering of fans in some of the playoff games last year, but it has been since Packers Seahawks 2019 in the divisional round that, since we've had a full Lambeau Field during a meaningful game. And I cannot wait. We saw how emotional it was and just amazing that it was to watch jump around back at Camp Randall Stadium on Saturday. I cannot wait for real fans in the stands for meaningful football. Packers Lions week 2, Monday Night Football nonetheless. That atmosphere is going to be electric. Yes, I could be in the press box that game. Humble brag if you want. I will not be in the press box that game. Even more humble brag if you want. I will be in the stands that game. I would not miss it. There's nowhere else I would rather be on that night than in the stands at Lambeau Field. I absolutely cannot wait. There is nothing to me that I think ranks higher on this list, that ranks higher for my excitement this season than to just get back to Lambeau Field with a full Lambeau Field stands, with that crowd, with that energy, with that excitement after not having it all of last year. As you can probably tell from just my inflection in my voice, I am jacked up. I am excited. I can't wait to be there. I wish it was now and I could be there now, but I'm so excited for it. And who knows, what's going to come next with COVID and variants and things like that. I'm just going to enjoy this while it lasts. There's fans in the stands, and hopefully it stays that way forever. But I'm not taking anything for granted anymore, and I just simply cannot wait to be there on Monday Night Football. Number 2 on my list is simple but yet meaningful, and that's Aaron Rodgers quarterbacking the Green Bay Packers. And that's just something that I am going to try to spend extra time soaking in. As I was at training camp this year, I was trying to spend a little bit more time just enjoying Aaron Rodgers at practice as a member of the Green Bay Packers, knowing that that might be the last time, knowing that this season could potentially be the last season. And this isn't meant to be a bummer. This is just stating the potential facts. Who knows what's going to happen? As I've mentioned a million times, this river could still have a million bends in it from now until the time that the Packers have to make a decision and Aaron Rodgers needs to make a decision next season. If I were a betting man today, I would expect this to be Rodgers' last season in Green Bay. How much I would bet on that? Probably not that much, because I'm not insanely confident in it, but it seems to be leaning in that direction. Whatever the case may be, 2022 is 2022. We are firmly in 2021 and sticking with the idea of enjoying the here and the now. I am going to enjoy Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, hopefully leading them to another Lombardi. I think it's going to be a memorable season in one way, shape, or form or another. And like I said, I'm just going to take that little bit of extra time to enjoy watching Aaron Rodgers quarterback this team. And regardless, right? Like, we're still getting, even if he ends up being a Packer for 3-4 more years, right? We're still getting to the twilight of Aaron Rodgers' career. And, he's still playing at an MVP level obviously. And of course, he's had a tremendous, phenomenal, whatever other adjective you want to use, training camp. He's looked absolutely spectacular. And I'm excited to watch him play football. You can tell he's focused. You can tell he's locked in. I think he's very motivated. And I think he's going to try to tear this league apart. And with weapons like Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams, Robert Tonyan, MVS, Randall Cobb, I don't think there's anything that's going to stop him from doing that. So I'm definitely going to be enjoying watching Aaron Rodgers play football this season. Number 3 is a man I just mentioned, and that's Randall Cobb and his return to the Green Bay Packers. And I just think this is such a great story. I think it's exciting. I think it's fun. And I know how much Randall Cobb means to so many Packer fans in Green Bay. He just seems to fit in that green and gold number 18. The moment he stepped back at 1265, it just felt right. I've been on record as saying that, and even Brian Gutekunst has said, right, like this isn't the move that they would have made, right, or should have made had it not been for Aaron Rodgers. But tip your cap to Aaron Rodgers, I guess, on this one, because it seems like the right move. I think Randall Cobb is going to have a very big role within this offense. He looks like their best slot receiver. Amari Rodgers doesn't look totally ready yet. And I think this is going to bring a different dynamic to this team. And even if it doesn't, right? Like you don't just sign or trade for nostalgia for the sake of nostalgia, especially when you're trying to win a Super Bowl, right? But there's still something great about seeing Randall Cobb in that uniform. And I know the crowd's going to go crazy when he catches his first passes, when he catches his first touchdown. Those are all moments that I'm really excited to see, and just to see the crowd be able to react to that this upcoming season. Number 4 on my list is Matt LaFleur and his play calling and creativity within this offense, and with all the different playmakers he has within this offense. He has a trio of running backs that are fantastic. Really excited to see how he deploys Josiah DeGuara. Robert Tonyan looks ready to take a step. Of course, Mercedes Lewis has a major role as a blocker, both as a pass blocker and run blocker within this offense. Dominique Daphne looks like he can contribute. They have really 6 wide receivers. I would even say Malik Taylor. Like, they have 6 wide receivers who look ready to contribute at a moment's notice. And how they use all of those players and how they get them involved and how they keep everyone happy. And of course, with Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams getting, in all likelihood, the vast majority of those touches, I'm so excited. And Matt LaFleur, and I've said this numerous times before, has been nothing but phenomenal for the Packers so far as head coach. He's been great as a play caller. He's been great as a play designer. Hat tip to Nathaniel Hackett and Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur and Luke Getsy, as I think, the 4 of them really go into kind of developing this offense. But man, what they're able to accomplish from a creativity standpoint and getting everyone involved, it's a new, exciting wrinkle every single week. They stack plays on top of each other. And I think Matt LaFleur really has the personnel. And I always talk about different flavors of things within personnel groupings, right? So the running backs, Aaron Jones is your alpha, A.J. Dillon's your power, Kylan Hill's more of your faster scat back type of running back. Love the 3 different flavors they have there. At wide receiver, you've got your alpha and Devontae Adams. You got your speed deep guy taking the top off the defense in MVS, your possession guy in Allen Lazard, your gadget guy in Amari Rodgers. You got your true slot in Randall Cobb. At tight end, you've got Bobby Tonyan, who again is kind of your overall guy at the position. Mercedes Lewis, the blocker. Josiah DeGuara, the H-back. They have every flavor of player that they need on offense to succeed at a high level. And I'm so excited to see how Matt LaFleur uses all that clay and molds what should be an incredible offense out of that. Number 5 is going to be the return of David Bakhtiari. And this is a player that has been synonymous with the Green Bay Packers since he came to Green Bay. He is the best player along their offensive line. Yes, still ahead of Elton Jenkins. He is obviously the protector of Aaron Rodgers' blind side, Aaron Rodgers' best friend, the guy that got him the golf cart, the guy that's chugging beers at Bucs games. You can tell how insanely hard David Bakhtiari has worked from the moment of his injury up until now. He looks fantastic out on the sidelines. He looks like he's ready to play. Obviously, Green Bay's being super cautious, and there's benchmarks, of course, that David Bakhtiari is going to need to hit in order to get back on the field, and we'll see when that happens. But whenever that is, that's going to be a huge gain for this Packers team and this Packers offense. And just having his, personality out on the field, I think is even another bonus, even above and beyond his play. But getting to move then Elton Jenkins back inside in all likelihood. And, at that point, there's probably some injuries along the line, right? So you've probably had some guys banged up. Maybe another player is out for a few weeks. At some point, you're going to get him back, and it's going to be a huge boost to this Packers offense, and specifically that Packers offensive line. I'm going to stick at the offensive line for number 6, and I'm really, really excited to watch the kids along the offensive line. What I mean by that is Josh Myers and Royce Newman. And we don't know 1,000,000% for sure that those two are going to be your starters at center and right guard. If you're betting, it seems to be a safe bet that Myers is going to start at center, that Royce Newman is going to start at right guard. And as I mentioned, I have zero trepidation based on how they've played in camp and how they've played in preseason. Yes, there will be mistakes. Yes, there's going to be things they need to learn from. But I'm really excited to see the development of these two players. And if Green Bay did find two long-term starters in the second and fourth round, respectively, that is a huge boost to this Packers offensive line and this Packers offense moving forward. We know how cash-strapped this team is going to be over the course of the next 2 to 3 seasons. And getting two players who could be long-term starters along the offensive line that'll have cheap price tags over the course of the next 4 seasons could be really big. And if they're really good, obviously that makes it that much sweeter. We'll see how ready they are. I think they're going to get a great test in week 1 against the Saints in their defensive front. But I'm really excited to see how these two players develop, how they work together cohesively throughout the course of the season. Can they limit the number of mistakes? Can they identify blitzes correctly? Can they make it through the season, 17 games plus in the playoffs as starters and not have issues where they have to bring in a John Runyon Jr., a Lucas Patrick, and Elton Jenkins inside, something to replace those players because they're not up to snuff. Again, I'm really excited. I think they are going to be. I think they're going to rise to the challenge. It's definitely a big challenge for both of them starting in their rookie year, but I think both of them are going to be up to it, and I'm really excited to watch their development. Number 7 might be a little bit of a cop-out, but it's something I've mentioned to you in training camp. It's something I've mentioned to you over and over, and that's simply watching Jair Alexander and Davante Adams play football. That's literally a thing to be excited for. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Maybe if you don't want to do it live, go back and just watch a tape and just watch as much Jair Alexander and Davante Adams as you can, because they are both such special players, such unique individuals, such players that at some point you're going to look back on and like we kind of look back at a Favre or a Jordy Nelson or a Charles Woodson's a great example this past week. As Charles Woodson's inducted into the Packers Hall of Fame, you just wish, I wish I could watch Charles Woodson play one more game for the green and gold, just suited up, or at least I could go back in time and watch him play one more time. There's going to be a time where we're wishing we could just go back and watch Jair Alexander or Davante Adams don the green and gold and play one more game in their prime. And that's where both of these players are right now. They're both just at an absurd level. And I don't even know what else to say. Enjoy these two players playing at the level they are at their unique positions, wide receiver and corner, which are such tough positions to play, such positions that are in such great demand. And both of them are playing it better than anyone else. And again, just take your eye off the ball, watch how those two operate, and it will be worth your time, I promise you, and definitely something I'm going to be looking forward to watch this year. Number 8 is sort of a redo on something we were supposed to get a couple years ago, but unfortunately did not, and that is Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes. Of course, Patrick Mahomes suffered the injury and was unable to play in that game. Aaron Rodgers had that ridiculous throw to Jamal Williams. Aaron Jones had a huge day, specifically receiving. It was a really nice win on the road against Kansas City for the Packers, but there's always that thorn in the side picking at you, reminding you that, hey, but Patrick Mahomes didn't play in that game. And these are arguably the two greatest throwers of all time. I still believe and will say, as much as it pains me, that Tom Brady is the greatest player of all time, greatest quarterback of all time. But when you talk about pure throwing and pure ability, to me, Mahomes and Rodgers are 1 and 1A, whichever order you want to put them in. I just think nobody has done what they've done with the football. And of course, Rodgers' ridiculous ability to take care of the football and just the level that Mahomes has played at since his start in the league. These are the two of the best. And hopefully we get to see what should be an amazingly fun matchup with those two at quarterback. And hopefully they just put on an absolute barn burner, like 56-49, just all touchdowns, no field goals, all gas, no break. I can't wait for that game. I think it's going to be a ton of fun and should be marquee, must watch television for literally anyone who enjoys sports in any capacity. Number 9 is something we got a small glimpse of in the Tennessee Titans game a season ago, and that's cold weather A.J. Dillon. I can't imagine wanting to tackle A.J. Dillon in general. I cannot even remotely imagine wanting to try and tackle A.J. Dillon when it's freezing temperatures. Like your body already feels cold and not, you just want to probably get out of town, go back to somewhere warm, especially if you're a warm team. And now all of a sudden you've got this just absolute truck of a human being running downhill at you 25 times a game or whatever it is. He has the ability to be a closer. He has the ability to be somebody that puts games away and finishes you while he's finishing the game and running out the clock. And I think that 5-minute offense, that's hopefully something that A.J. Dillon can become an expert at. Again, A.J. Dillon saw like 8-9 man boxes at Boston College and still finished out games. I think in Green Bay, frozen tundra, Lambeau Field, I think in that cold weather, I don't care how many people you put in that box, if that offensive line is doing work, some people are going to have to make some business decisions against A.J. Dillon. I'm really excited to see how that can play out and just the type of weapon that he could be in that type of situation. And he'll get that opportunity in his second season where he didn't really get that with Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones getting the primary ball carrying responsibilities a season ago. And then last but not least, number 10 on my list is the Packers playoff run. Because yes, the Packers are going to make the playoffs. In all likelihood, they will win the NFC North. And in some capacity, whether it's winning the NFC North or a wild card, unless something went horribly wrong, they're going to be one of the top 7 teams. They're going to get in the playoffs. And as we all know, Green Bay has a ton riding on this season. Salary cap gets very sketchy a year from now. We don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be in Green Bay. We don't know if Devontae Adams is going to be in Green Bay. We don't know if Zadarius Smith's going to be in Green Bay, amongst many others that we could go over. I don't think we want to, but there's a ton riding on this season, and at some point they're going to be in the playoffs. And whether that's as a number 7 seed wild card or as the number 1 seed, having home field advantage, those games are going to feel just chock full of pressure. And they're going to have, a fight on their hands to fight through that pressure, to win every game, to get to a Super Bowl and hopefully win it. But as a fan, these are such, every playoffs is high stakes, right? But as this is the last dance, the last ride, this is going to feel just above and beyond that. Everything you felt in all those playoff games, the last decade plus, and anytime they've been in the playoffs, to me, it's going to feel a degree even of difference. It's going to feel 10 degrees more important because this could be it, right? For some time, at least like a high level team. It wouldn't shock me in any way, shape, or form, even if they had to purge a bunch of players from this team. This is a team with a ton of young talent on it. So if they were back in the playoffs next year, that wouldn't surprise me. But I think as a true Super Bowl contending team, this could be it for the next few seasons or beyond. You never know. And I think once they get there, again, the weight of that is going to feel real. But I think it's like anything in elimination playoffs, right? Whether it's March Madness, whether it's football, the higher the stakes are, the more intense those games are to watch as a fan. And those games are going to feel insanely intense. And I think that's going to make it that much more exciting. And we'll see what happens. And of course, everyone's fingers crossed, hope it goes well and they can bring home another trophy to 1265. But I think no matter what, that playoff run is going to feel incredibly intense, incredibly huge. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun because of that. That's going to do it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Top 10 things I am looking forward to this season. I hope you all enjoy your Labor Day. I hope you're enjoying your day off. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. If you're listening to this on the audio version, make sure to, again, subscribe and give this 5 stars. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. It helps us out a ton. But otherwise, I will be right back here tomorrow on the video. Our audio team will be right back here tomorrow with an all-new episode as well. But until next time, and as always, go Pack Go.